As always, free shed plans down below in the description from the Jamaica Cottage Shop in Vermont. And coming up, we'll give away yet another tiny house heater from Envy. All the details and links down below.
We were staying here looking around predicting last night. This place, because the boxes are still here for all the solar stuff, it is pretty darn new. But we were predicting this place probably will not be standing inside a year, just because the improper ways in which rain is being channeled into the build as opposed to out and away from it. This MDF will turn to mush, and this place is going to collapse like a soggy house of cards in no time at all. Hey guys, what's up? Deke, RelaxShacks.com. Want to see the most dangerous, frightening rental I've ever stayed in structurally? Well, here you go.
All right, you guys can play along in this one too, and this isn't to insult, I promise you, it's to educate, and I'm sure there's a bunch of things you'll pick out with this that I might be missing because I'm kind of ad-libbing here. For starters, the roof material is not even fastened down properly, isn't overhanging properly, and as we'll explain later, there are no joists whatsoever, and there's no slope in the roof. Most of the screws have missed. You can't tell in these photos here, but a lot of them didn't have neoprene washers on them, so they're just punching holes through a roof and creating leaks. The trim work around the door leaves much to be desired. The base plate here that I'm pointing out right there underlaps the siding, like the T111 like siding. So as rain comes down the side of that structure, it's actually staying on that sill and working its way into the structure. You'll see an example of non-plumb walls and probably some racking here without any triangulation collar ties or anything creating rigidity. That wall is going to bend or rack over time in the winds, and out in the desert near Arizona it gets very windy. Here's more screws that are blown through as well. And you can see some of the roofing doesn't even extend past the edge of the MDF, and that stuff does not hold up well at all when it gets wet. That will turn to mush. They snuck in a couple sleeper style 2x4s to create an angle. This is the outhouse view. This I actually really did like. There's an abandoned house or homestead in the distance. But here's more screws that just blew right through, and there's that sleeper style 2x4 they snuck in there to create a rise of 1.5 inches. Just gaps everywhere. The plywood butts up against those treated 2x4s there. You can see it bulging so waters can get in there. That is a massive 2x4 screwed together in pyramid-like formation in an attempt to create something that would hold up the roof from the exterior. You can't see if this spray foam blasted under there. Can't talk. Some of the trim work, gaps everywhere, improper layering, no flashing. Waters can go right into those walls when it rains. You'll notice too, if you look closely, this window is a double hung window that they set sideways to make it like a slider, style window. There's the lock set on it. These won't channel or whisk away water properly if set that way. There's no roofing over the front of this cabin for the last foot or so. None of the boards are even. There's no support up front. They overhang almost 3 feet. Lots of big old gaps and spaces.
Look at the sag in the ceiling. We discovered, staying here easily, that there are no joists in the structure. They just spider webs and 2x4 sleeper style, where they're even weaker, and put MDF ply on top, which if you look outside the previous pictures and videos I showed you, there is no layer above that. The roof is simply this MDF 4x8 sheets sitting on top of these. Even worse, these don't even toe screw connect. Not that that would be proper in any way to the wall. So all that's really holding this ply is its own rigidity and strength, spanning from here, pardon my dirty hands, we've been building, to here. These are almost just batten strips that might help with the droop. But as you can see over here, there's almost a 1.5 inch drop or sag in that 2x4 there, which is just crazy. If you put proper joists in here, you wouldn't have all these poles in the way either, which are chopping up the center of the room. This room, I think, is about 12, maybe 14 wide. Actually, no, excuse me, 2 sheets of ply, so it's 8, but yeah, about 14. chopped right in half by this abundance of holes, supports. Now that pyramid you saw on the roof before, that's how they screwed it in. It's going right through the roof. Then they used that great stuff, spray foam, if you could see it. Hopefully, and their hopes, I guess, was that it wouldn't allow water to weep through these screws. And then look at over here. Everything, I think, was brought in 8-foot lengths, probably just easier to do. Like this is supporting the ceiling. In theory, their theory. Just a lot of it just no rhyme or reason. Like look at this board, it floats, goes to nowhere. Just a mess. Very affordable rental. We actually enjoyed our time here. The view is great. Look at this, just like a crappy 4x4. Now over here at the door, let's see if I can show you this. The wall, because nothing's collar tying it together. Look at how warped that is. These boards almost twist back from where they start on the floor. And just this incredibly ugly array of blocking and pieces screwed together, most of them splitting. Crazy. The windows, just not trimmed in at all. We were in here last night, wind's blowing right through the gaps in the sides of them. It was pretty cold in the desert. Oh, this is kind of fun. Solar sink, where the pump is. This drain is just a tub where they punched some holes and screwed the drain underneath. It goes outside where it doesn't pass outside the house far enough. And with the sill we showed you before, the water just keeps leaking back and through here. You can see there's already mold and water damage starting because this MDF is junk. But to start the water, you have to plug these two things together. See if I can do it with one hand while I film. Stop the water when your hands are nice and wet. You have to unplug them. That's kind of weird. Gold Zero systems over here, all their wiring, plugs and such. Love Gold Zero. Although I wouldn't have all this wiring and all this stuff right next to the bed you sleep in. This artwork here is load bearing. Not really. A couple more shots of the quote unquote joist work. Like look at this. That is helping to hold up these giant MDF sheets. That little scab of wood. I'm not shooting the video to diss either, more as a tool or a warning to other builders. This is what happens sometimes when you don't follow the rules, don't know what you're doing. Someone at some point might get very hurt with a build like this. And we stayed here and I enjoyed it, but I'm going to mention to the owners, like, listen, whoever built your house, if they hired somebody, it's really, really, really not safe.
Oh yeah, the door wouldn't really properly close because the wall was so racked that the pin set for the lock wouldn't really meet up. And again, here's some screws just blowing through the ceiling from the pyramid of 2x4s and the exterior, the roof.
So scared. So scared. Honestly, sleeping here last night, I'm looking at the sag in the ceiling over the bed, and the thought was going through my mind a couple times, like, this could all come down. That's Chris Strathy doing his quality inspection in the back, the capable carpenter. Picking out how this is not so capable a build. Pergo style flooring here, they put it right on the concrete slab. There's no subfloor. So you can see what happens. It's already coming apart in a lot of places. Don't do it, bro, or bro-ed.
The sink here, not really sure why they'd want to use exterior rated treated lumber for a food prep area, but I guess to each their own. I personally wouldn't do that, not safe. And here you can see more improper flashing, gaps, the wall that's leaning with the door that's pinched and won't shut properly. I didn't show up, but there's a solar panel just laid in the ground right in the walking path towards the door, which you're bound to trip over.
Sag City.
Again, once there's a real rain, this place is just done, unfortunately.
Well, there you go. Hope it helped. Maybe gave you some ideas or some non-ideas, anti-ideas. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hit that like button, all that other jazz. And thank you for watching, as always. See ya.